If I never get to see the Northern Lights, a true story. I've never told anyone this, not even the people who know everything else, not even the one person that this is about. There's a song that I've had on repeat for years, and not in the oh my god, I love this song kind of way. I mean in a ritualistic, pull my soul through the night kind of way. The kind where it starts playing and my entire body goes still, like it's responding to something outside of space and time. Like somewhere out there he knows, and maybe he presses play too. It's Die a Happy Man by Thomas Rhett. Yeah, I know, it's from a man's POV. It's country, it's cheesy, and I couldn't care less. Because for me, it isn't just a song. It's a vision, a portal, a whole world that exists for me between 2 and 4 a.m. on my front yard swing. This started maybe 4 or 5 years ago, honestly. Somewhere in that winter stretch when life had finally started to settle again. Kingston and Zuma were in kindergarten, thriving in their own little rhythms. Kingston had finished his last radiation treatment about a year and a half earlier, and for the first time in what felt like forever, we weren't living in constant crisis mode. I had been safely divorced for 3 years, and things with their dad had cooled down just enough that we were becoming friends again. Maybe not close, but kind. Familiar. Like we could be decent human beings in the same room without setting each other on fire. It was quiet in a different way. Not like survival quiet, but the kind that makes you start hearing your own heartbeat again. The kind that brings the ache to the surface, the one you had buried underneath diagnoses and court papers and school lunches. That ache that reminded me there was still something missing. Someone is missing. I would sneak out in the middle of the night, not out of rebellion, but out of necessity. The kind of need that rises up in your chest when loneliness feels too big for the walls. The kind that makes you chase air at 3 a.m. barefoot in the cold just so your thoughts don't devour you. My kids would be knocked out, but my insomnia was loud. I'd grab my headphones, zip up whatever hoodie hadn't been claimed by a small person that week, and walk outside like I was answering a call that only I could hear. I had this big porch swing, wrought iron, dramatic, way too oversized for the space that it sat in, and I loved it. It felt like a big secret fort, like a floating bed that could carry me out of the life that I was in and into the one that I knew in my bones was mine. I'd curl up on it with my phone in my hand, open Spotify, and tap the only song that made the noise stop. Baby Girl last night was hands down one of the best nights yet that we've had, no doubt. And I'd close my eyes, and I'd see him. Not my ex, not the man who at the time had started showing up again saying all of the right things. He was there in real life, on paper, reinserting himself into holidays and after-school pickups and conversations about working it out. But the man I saw, the one in my bones, he wasn't someone I was trying to explain. He was someone I already knew. Someone who felt like air, like gravity. Like some part of me had never stopped orbiting him no matter how many years had passed, or how many roles I'd collected: mother, caregiver, cook, bill negotiator, advocate, all of it. I'd hit play again and again and just picture him next to me on that swing. No flash, no spectacle, just there, with his hand in mine. If you know, you know. I used to wonder if I was crazy to imagine a life that hadn't even happened yet, to fall in love with someone I hadn't touched in forever, to believe with my whole chest that one day it could all be real. But in those moments, for me, it was real. Under the stars that always looked the same from my little patch of sky, I would let myself believe that I didn't miss my shot, that I wasn't broken from bad choices and worse timing, that maybe, something that felt this much like home could still come back. I didn't need a mansion or Paris or some perfectly captured proposal with matching outfits and fake laughter. I just needed him, that swing, and his hand in my hand. Oh, if all I've got is your hand in my hand, baby, I could die a happy man. I didn't tell anyone I was doing this, not because it's a secret, but because some things are too big for explanation. You start telling people about songs and starlight and phantom hands, and they either want to save you or medicate you. But this wasn't sadness, it was survival. The song saved me, and not in that dramatic, poetic way. I mean, it gave me a reason to hope, gave me a place to go, and it let me feel like what it would be like to be fully seen, fully loved and safe in a way that I hadn't been since childhood. And I think that matters. Maybe even more than reality sometimes. Because reality, let's be honest, it's brutal. Kingston was about to start his second round of It Might Be Back, and I was running on fumes, waking up to stomach aches and worry before my feet even hit the floor. I had a man in my house who wanted to fix things, but he didn't even know how to fix himself. I was holding it all together for two kids who looked at me like I was the sun itself. And some nights, I just didn't want to be the sun. I wanted to rest. So I'd go outside and lay flat on that swing, and I'd let Thomas Rhett's words carry me somewhere else. Into a memory that hadn't happened yet, into a future that felt so real that I could feel the warmth of it on my skin. You're a saint, you're a goddess, the cutest, the hottest, the masterpiece. It's too good to be true, nothing better than you in my wildest dreams. I wanted to be that to someone, not the caregiver, not the struggling mom trying to stretch a $22 bank balance across 5 school days. Just a girl someone couldn't believe was real. And I saw it. I still do. I see it so clearly. Him looking at me like that, saying those things. Not because I needed or need to hear them now, but because he meant them, because he means them, because it's true. Sometimes I'd whisper back to the wind like he could hear me. You're late, but I forgive you. I know why you stayed gone. I just hope you hurry up. I never cried when I played that song. That's how I knew it was real. Grief makes me cry. Fantasy makes me cry, but this didn't. This made me still. Today, it still calms me. I get full body chills, goosebumps to my core. That is how real it is to me. It made me breathe deeper. It still does. Even now that everything's changed, now that Kingston is gone and my heart is somewhere in pieces that I'll never find again, I still play it. Not every night. Not on the swing. I don't even have it anymore. But in the car, on walks, in bed when sleep won't come and I feel the ache of all of the things that I haven't been able to say. And every time I do, I see him. I feel him. I remember what he smells like. Still, just like before, sitting beside me, saying nothing, just letting me exist. No expectations, no fixing, just presence. And my heart does that same flutter it's always done when I picture a life with him. A life I still believe in, even if I never admit it out loud. Because he's always felt like home. The kind you don't have to tidy up for. The kind that smells like your favorite hoodie and feels like your childhood bed and tastes something like you forgot you loved until the first bite. I don't need anyone to understand that. I don't need anyone to agree with me that he's real, or that he'll come back, or that this is more than wishful thinking. I know what it is. I know who he is. And I know what love feels like when it's real, even if it hasn't happened yet, even if it won't happen in this lifetime. So yeah, maybe it's corny, maybe it's weird, but this girl, this tired, unbreakable, still swinging girl, has loved one person with the kind of love that rearranges the sky. And if one day I get to be beside him, dancing in the rain or just sitting in silence, I won't need Europe or bright lights or fame. And if I never get to see the Northern Lights or the Eiffel Tower at night, and if all I've got is his hand in my hand, then yeah, I could die a happy woman.